How do you describe me to others?
Oh my gosh.
Don't take all day.
You know what? You started off the relationship question going into a whole
I
sermon.
did. I did. I didn't know.
That was
I
like
was me.
question two.
That was me,
And then
and
he looks
how
at me
I
and says,
would
don't take
what I
all
would tell
day.
my daughter.
Exactly. But then you're like, and I tell my son, and then I
I
would
tell my
say,
son the same
and
thing.
then I'd also say, and I'd say, anyway. So I describe you as, well, honestly, I find it hard to describe you because um a couple of us who married into, who married, not married into, but married these phenomenal, beautiful black men, just going to say it that way, who are definitely our exceptions to the rule. Like they are absolutely amazing, strong um, men, wonderful fathers, you know, all this great stuff. It's hard to describe because we also understand the uniqueness of our relationship prior to getting married,
Mm-hmm.
and how that is not the way our relationship developed, and the opportunities we had leading up to it are unique
Mm-hmm.
and were exceptional. And they honestly, in the relationship world, they were the fairy tale.
Mm-hmm.
We had the fairy tale relationships, and they worked, you know, on in our favor. Like God blessed us so well with you guys. And so it's like, how do you describe the feeling and the emotion of awe, of shock and awe and wonder that you have
Mm-hmm.
at what you get to be a part of? The
Mm-hmm.
fact that I'm thinking back in college, you were my friend, never looked at you in that way, and never would have thought Troy Burnett is going to be my husband and I'm going to be Mrs. Burnett.
Mm-hmm.
So to get to this point, in part of my description of you, that emotion is something that comes up and comes out. Like I am amazed. I am so I tell people that you are a wonderful, beautiful man of God. That you're a hard worker. Again, you are dedicated. You're committed. You you're social.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely that you love connecting to individuals. That one of your strongest points is your ability to do outreach, to actually connect with people, and that you have so many talents and so many things that you're capable of doing,
Mm-hmm.
that it's amazing. But also that you're a great friend, you're a wonderful husband, um, that my family loves you, and they loved you even before we were anything. They told me that I was going
Right.
to be marrying
Right.
you. um, and that we just have this connection and this chemistry that is only ordained by God.
Mm-hmm.
And so I describe you as all of those things. Just that you are an amazing, smart, intelligent man.
What else? Come on, say some more. Say some more nice things about
You're sexy.
me.
I
Ooh.
mean, I will admit that
Ruh-roh. We about to
I
turn this off. We about to turn this off.
I definitely say
That has
that.
been our episode of Beauty and the Beard. We are about to go. Nah, just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely, to the people who haven't seen you, I definitely will say my husband is so attractive, and you know what have you, in the right setting. I don't just look at a woman and be like, my husband's attractive.
Yeah, I don't be hitting all. Now, for me, how I describe you, um, I describe you as being. Well, I don't honestly. I don't get an opportunity to describe you that much because it's not like we're talking to. To be honest with you,
Hmm.
you know, it's not like we're. I'm meeting new people, but I do remember when I was describing you to my grandmother. And I was like, "Grandma, you remember that one that was at my graduation?" She's like, "Oh yeah, the one with the big hair. I really like her." No, not the one with the big hair. The one with the long hair. I don't know. I don't know too much about her, Troy. I don't know. She didn't know you, you know. Like, well, I like her, and you're gonna have to like her too. Nah, I ain't tell grandma that. But I did describe you as, first of all, you're an independent woman. Actually, I didn't know about the independence part until we got married,
Which is crazy.
and that was
I
really
think
an
the high
eye
maintenance
opener.
part would have.
Yeah, I wish I would have caught that at first. That would have helped me out a lot.
I think you did know about it though, because I mean, I was already a working woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think.
I mean, I just thought we worked because we were working, not
Oh,
because
okay.
of independence. You know what I'm saying? But, hardworking woman. You, this is probably one of the biggest things. And yes, I say all the generic things like you're very pretty. You're very very pretty. You're beautiful. You're amazing. I'm blinded by your beauty. Like I can say all that stuff. But one of the things that I think is the best way to describe you, if I'm talking to somebody about you, is that you genuinely care and love me, despite how embarrassing and rude of an individual I could be. And so, and that says a lot. I don't know if people realize that, but for an individual to, I'm not saying that I'm bad to put up with, but my wife, she deals with Troy, she deals with her husband, and she does it with a smile, and she loves me, and so I'm like, my wife is patient. Like these are the characteristics that I love the most. You're patient, you're kind, you're gentle, you're very loving, you're very caring. And I never experienced anything like that before, because the reason why all those things are very important is because I know your independent self. And so even though you're independent, you still show the sacrificial type of love for me. And it's impeccable. I can't, it amazes me. It amazes me because some people do things out of a give and take type of relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only reason why I'm doing this for you is because I'm expecting something in return. Okay. But you don't do things to get something in return. You just do them to do them.
Yeah.
And so that's, if I were to describe you to somebody, that's how I would describe you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh. So is it my question?
I'm trying to butter you up.
I know. Yeah.
No, it's actually mine. That was your
Okay.
question. Oh no, that was my question.
Okay, so it's mine.
Yeah.
So we have 3 questions. We have 6 questions left.
No, we got. How many cards you pick?
6.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
you
yeah. You're
had
right, right.
6.
I got 6. Okay, cool. Let's pick one apiece. Of the. Oh, you want to do all of them?
Well,
I mean, if we can,
no.
we can keep. No. Seriously, we can keep recording because the more cards we do, the more content we have.
Yeah, but I don't want you to have to cut the content.
Babe,
Just
editing is my thing. Let's keep going.
No, I'm not talking about for editing purposes. I'm talking about I was hoping that we could get through the game.
Let's go ahead. Let's do it.
But I don't want it to be too much longer. So let's do, like you said, the one question thing.
You want to do one question apiece? Pick one question. Pick a good one. Ooh, that's a good one. No, I don't like that one. Got it. So this is your question to me.
Yep.
Yes.
Tell me about the first time we met.
I remember meeting you at church. And I didn't meet you, like I just saw you at church. And you and your friends were actually the reason, like that was our way of evangelizing to the guys at our school. We're like, hey man, you want to go to church with us? They was like, nah man, I ain't with all of that. I was like, look man, it's some fine girls up in this church.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yo, I was like, look man,
They were
fine
pissing from the pews.
They are fine. Look, just come, all right? And I'm just saying, you're going to enjoy it. You're going to appreciate it.
Pimping from the pews.
Now we won't trying to like, pass the girls off to the guys. We're just trying to get the guys to come.
No, because I will add this. even prior to knowing them, they would definitely put a guy in check if they had tried to approach one of us in church.
Off rip.
They were quick. So I think it was like, hey, we have some nice, looking girl, some attractive girls. Like you're going to find a good variety of everything at church.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things. But they definitely wouldn't let them step wrong. Exactly.
So yeah, I remember that. And then it's a bunch of like fragments of memories that I have.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember actually like the first time. I do remember my first memory, one of my fondest memories of the beginning stage of me getting to know who you are was one day we were at you were leaving the parking lot from Bridgewater College. And I was in the truck with Chris, or the car with Chris, and you were in your Ford Escape.
Okay.
So what year was that?
That had to have been at least 2004.
2004?
Or
okay.
5. 2004 or 5. Probably 2004.
Probably 2004. It might not be. I don't remember. But anyway.
As my sister had my truck for a year.
Somebody rolled down, whoever's car I was in, rolled down the window to talk to you. Hey, what's up? It was good seeing you. All right, we'll holler at you. Peace. And then you left. And then the window went back up, and I looked at him. I was like, I think it was Chris, and I was like, yo, I don't know who her husband gonna be. But I know he probably gonna be like a football player in the NFL making millions of dollars, because, man, that girl is fine. That's my first memory. I mean, if we want to talk about like our first dates, our first few dates were pretty cool. Like the first time we started dating, they were pretty cool. I mean, I can tell you were out of my league, but I also saw how good of a conversationalist I was. Like, I was impressed by myself because I was carrying a conversation on with a woman who was 26 years old. I'm 22. Now, I mean, I know people like, oh, I'm 22, whatever. I mean, like, I was hanging with this 26-year-old in a conversation. We had never had, like, a time where it was just us. It was always friends. You know what I'm saying? And I felt very confident in myself. So, yeah, I remember one time we went putt-putting, and you had on these fuzzy blue slippers. But you don't remember them.
Pink.
No, they were blue.
I thought they were pink.
I really wish I could find that photo.
Because I think you're talking about my fuzzy flip-flops.
Yes.
They were pink. Because they were actually my sister's.
Okay.
And then I think she let me have them, or I took them or something. I don't remember.
But anyway, yeah, that's what I remember. I remember that you were beautiful and that you were out of my league.
So
I don't know. Well, how do you remember meeting me?
This is going to sound really bad. But my first thought is, oh, he was so much cuter with his mouth shut.
Wow.
There's actually there's a movie again that has that quote, oh, you're so much cuter with your mouth shut.
What I do with my mouth?
No, you didn't do anything wrong. But Troy had a swag, like a swagger about him that was like so chic and so smooth and everything like
and
that.
I wasn't
like
even trying to be like that. Though.
Exactly. Like Troy was a football player. So I'm trying to set the atmosphere. I'm not saying that all football players are like this.
She put a stereotype on me.
I did.
When we
my
first
story.
met.
My story.
My bad.
So I'm not saying all football players are like this, but just imagine. Well, I'm not even gonna say football player. Troy was an athlete, and he's tall and he built and all this stuff, and he had his fresh cut on his face. He had the nice clothes, kind of deal. He was driving, this nice car, kind of, stuff like that. And so Troy had the whole package together, like the whole presence of literally what you would think of an athlete. When he talked to you, he put that little bass in his voice and kind of he did. He had that smooth talk everything. And so, I mean, if we're going to find a picture to put up of Troy, okay? And so most of the time when I saw him in church, I remember the first time I saw you, but I don't remember the first time we actually started talking. And Troy was in the front. I think he was with like, you were with Chris and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was a few rows back. So I saw him from the back. And I remember thinking, he's attractive, because you were new to the church at the time. So there were quite a few people who said you were attractive. That kind of stuff, right? And so the conversation happened. Is like, he's really attractive. He's really cute, what have you. Now, mind you, I'm older than everyone because I had actually started the 4-year college late. I went to a community college first, and then I came into the 4-year college late. So by the time I met all of these guys, I actually should have graduated. And so I'm not thinking anything romantic. I'm like, he really is attractive. Wouldn't be bad if he looked my way, kind of deal. The same thing, but not relationship. Like, you want to be attractive to someone else, okay? Yeah. And so the idea of him was a turn on. It was sexy. It was what have you. And again, that smooth presence that he had was like alluring. And then he opened his mouth and the first joke came out, and he started acting like what you see right now.
Disrespect.
And it was like, you're a big kid.
A huge kid. And I'm still a kid today.
You're a big kid. I kind of need a grown man.
Whoa.
So hold on. I'm being honest. This is the first time. But you'll be a great friend. Like, that made him a great friend. It made him fun to be around. It made us laugh. It made me feel very comfortable. Once that whole trying to be attractive or attracted to someone goes out the window, you can relax and be yourself, really. And so that made you approachable. That was the difference. The persona that you had before made it seem like you're just looking for the next cute trick. But
trick like girl trick or
girl trick?
Wow.
Because I didn't think, I'm going to be honest, and I'm not trying to down anyone, but I didn't think Troy was actually looking for a serious relationship. I thought he was literally a player. This is
your opinion. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I was.
Okay. So that was my first impression of Troy after a couple of weeks, I think, of seeing him and stuff like that. Plus, I was hanging around more with your best friend. You were there every now and then. Mm-hmm. You didn't really start hanging around the group of us, I think, until like a year or so later. And so that was my perception. Now, fast forward a few years, and I got to know him, and and that made us really good friends. Troy finally, let me know how he felt and stuff like that. And at that point, we were cool and we were comfortable. But I didn't have that romantic attraction to him. So we decided that we would talk and we would try. Now, mind you, in my mind, part of me still had this thought of, well, maybe in a romantic relationship, what I thought I saw is something that's more, because I had seen him with his girlfriend, and I was like, okay, so there's going to be a deep side to him that's, overly romantic kind of deal. And then we went on a date.
Our first date was good.
Our first date was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Our first date was really good. We talked about music.
Yes.
We talked about like throwback songs. We talked about TV shows. It was all surface.
Yes.
It was all surface.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Most definitely.
That's what it was. Like.
But that's what a first date is supposed to be.
No.
We testing the waters, seeing if we can talk. Then we're gonna talk. All right, how many babies you want to have?
No, I didn't want to go into.
How many, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't want to go into like, when can I take your last name type conversation. But I think I also, for instance, I had seen you in the ministry side, so I think I thought there was going to be more intellectual conversation. And we were very surface, like, and sometimes it was like, so what do we talk about? What do we have in common? Now,
disrespect.
Now Troy made a good comment though. I was 26, and if you think about that, that's on the latter side of almost being 30. And he was 22, which is on the earlier side of almost being 19. And so I was already working full time, and he was still in college and living, at the time the first time we talked, I was graduating. So I wasn't 26 yet. Yes, I was actually. Yes, I was. I was 26. And so I think at that point I was I was looking for someone who I felt, or not looking to get married, because I wasn't looking to get married at that time, but I was looking for a relationship or wanting relationship of someone I felt like um could take me to the next level. Could provide, could support, could help educate me, lead me, that kind of things. And I think in my mind I thought someone older. So in all fairness to you, I think I thought someone older. So when Troy came, I was hoping that he would approach with that, I guess, with that same, whatever. And so when he came and he was jokey joke, I was like,
life's too serious to be like serious all the time.
Well, not jokey
Let's
joke,
be-
but
let's laugh about.
But when he came, when he approached me and we were talking, and the conversation it was more than surface. It was pretty shallow, like at first, and it wasn't that intellectual, like deep. Like we had already, in my mind, we had already done the shallow stuff and stuff because we were friends and we had that conversation. I thought when we started connecting or trying to figure out romantically, we would take it further, faster. Not further in terms of relationship, but I wonder what makes the world turn, kind of, I don't know, type deep stuff. Or what do you want? What is your 5-year plan? And what is your, that kind of thing. And so when it didn't happen, it was like, I still feel like you're my little brother. And I wasn't feeling that romantic connection. I wasn't feeling the connection of someone, this person is ready to go to the next step of providing for family, and taking care of me. Exactly.
I was
and
still trying to figure out my life.
And so that's what I meant. And
All
so
right.
in my mind, I'm like, he's still though a really, really great friend, and I don't want to lose this relationship.
Let me tell you this right now. It seemed like you've been practicing that to answer that question for a while. You gave details. It was on this date. It was rainy, and the humidity was at 65 outside.
Well, I mean, we've talked about.
I gave you a concise answer.
We've talked about that first time we tried to be in a relationship.
Yes.
Lots of times, and I think each time we talk about it, more details come out. So this question gave an opportunity actually to answer it in a different way. And so I think this is probably the most detail you've ever gotten about why 2006 didn't work.
So the Burnett's do not get a point for that card.
But I told you, I said I didn't feel the
Shaka
chemistry.
went in on me. She called
I
me
didn't
her
know
little brother. You
were
called
like
me your
my
little brother.
You were like my little brother. I wasn't. I told you that. I said the chemistry wasn't there. There was no. I could not turn on the I feel romantic about you at all. I had never thought about you in that way, like in that depth. And then when you approached me, it was like, I don't know. Is it okay? And what can you offer? But that was purposeful.
You still going in.
I'm not going in. That was purposeful because the year that we weren't together, we both matured. And then
we needed that year. Yeah.
We did. And then when we came back together, we were totally different people.
Yeah.
And we both had the confirmation that we were supposed to be together.
Yeah.
When we came back. So yeah.
All right. Last question.
Oh, I thought that was the last question. We said one more. We said one each, and we did it.
You did yours. I didn't do mine.
Oh, say okay.
Last question. Am I different than you imagine I would be when we first met? Actually, you just answered it, to be quite honest with you. Am I different than you imagine I would be when we first met?
Yeah, I just answered it.
Yeah, you really did.
So
me answering that question. Well, hold on. How am I now in comparison to then?
you're the same. So like, so it's crazy, but when we first met, like I told you, I had the way you carried yourself and the way you presented yourself, and then how you were when you let someone get to know you were different. Okay. In my opinion, at least from the female perspective, the guys probably saw all of that. And now how you were when we met back then, when you opened your mouth, and now is exactly the same. As a matter of fact, you might have turned it up a notch since since then, because I think you're more comfortable in yourself, in your skin. And again, I go back to the
So
previous.
why date your little brother?
No, not the little brother aspect of it
Because the
anymore.
way that we
hmm Troy wants to talk about sex so bad. He wants to talk about sex so bad, or at least hint to it. So, so the difference now though is, whereas in before, I think I saw that as a sign. I had a certain idea of what maturity looked like.
Sure.
I think now I understand that, um, that you can be mature even in those moments. For one, it doesn't mean that you're not mature, that you can't provide, or that you would ever. That's one thing. Two, we have examples, all the examples I mentioned before, that I started to see in you after that period. Once we graduated, and I started to see you, working and develop and having relationship and responsibilities and stuff like that. So that helped too. Um, and then also, um, seeing how your difference, like I said too before, when you come into a relationship, you bring a part and someone else brings a part. And so seeing how the way you are really was something that I needed, and again the way that I am was something you needed. That
Yes,
balance,
I definitely agree with that.
um it didn't seem like it was, um it didn't seem like a bad thing anymore. Like it didn't seem like a hindrance. It wasn't a hindrance anymore. At that point it was like, he's going to be fun, he's going to be spontaneous. He's not going to be an individual um who who binds me, who limits me, who whatever, because that part of you that I looked at in that way, then I also see him like he's a free spirit. And in that same light, I see that person who's a free spirit saying, if you want to do it, go for it. And so I started looking at it differently. So I think that's why what I saw then. Now, in terms of the age thing, um, part of that too was getting to know you, in a different light. And it so age didn't seem like Aaliyah said, aging number to number. I don't want to use her example. That's a bad example. Um, but at that point, there's a difference when we weren't this young, but there's a difference when you're 18 and the person is 22, or no, sorry, when you're 16 and someone's 20, as opposed to when you are 29 and someone is 25. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like it's that big of even though the age range is the same, it doesn't seem like lifestyles are that different.
Yeah.
And so I think that was another thing too. When you started college, you were 18.
Yeah.
Right? That means I would have been 22.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm fully aware.
So by the time we got together again, I was 28 and you were 24.
So as far as did you see this right there?
No, I didn't.
That's funny.
That is funny.
There's a little icon at the bottom left corner. You have to get. I'm not going to describe it right now, but that's I did not expect that.
That's funny.
The question for me in talking about you is: are you different than what I imagine? Hold on. Am I different than you imagine I would be when we first met? So, yes, you are different from who you are before we first met. And to be honest with you, I'm happy about that. There's a TV show called Community, and there's a guy on there. He looks at his relationship with his friends as if it is a TV show. And so every episode, he's like, "Oh, this is like our friendship is like this TV show. Or it's like this movie. Or it's like blah, blah, blah." He's like pulling scenes out, and I really feel like we're in season 9 of our marriage, and every season has been every TV season of the Burnett Show has been significantly different, and I'm actually glad for that because it helps keep everything fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, and for us to, you're changing time to time allows me to stay on my toes and not just be like try to predict you and stuff like that. And so it makes me to be on my A game every single day. Now, when I first met you, I didn't know you are as OCD as you were going to be when we got married. And that's annoying. But, you have adapted through the years of dealing with my lack of OCD. You have dealt with that. And I think it kind of goes back to one of the things I was talking about earlier about like how do I describe you to others is that you're loving you're loving and patient. I don't I leave clothes at the end of the bed but I'm coming back to them. I just want to leave them for right here, right now.
They're not there this morning.
I know, because we got to do laundry anyway. So so yeah, you are different from the person that I first met, and I'm thankful for that. And if there is a point that you become the person that I don't know who you are, we're gonna address that, and vice versa. I will hope that you would do the same for me. Are we supposed to look at each other's eyes?
No, you answer the question.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I didn't know if you were finished.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. That's it then.
Is it?
Yeah.
We need to do this again.
We do, and we need to be able to get through all 12 questions.
Well, I mean, the point of the cards are. I mean, yes, you are right, but I think the point of the cards are for us to get the conversation going.
They are.
And for us, once we get to talking about a topic, then we go deeps.
We do.
We do. Want to sign us out?
You do it. I can't think of what we normally say.
So that has been our episode of Beauty and Beard. It has been your boy Troy
and Shaka.
And we're so thankful that you came by to sit down for us for this game. We're going to do this again. This is part 1. We're going to do another one. As we normally do as we sign off, peace.
Bye, guys. Love you.
Peace.